Right. This is something I forgot about. A friend said he was going to do the welding up for me in 2021. That's not happened, so I've gone and collected my fenders today. You can see on this side, clearly it's had a few bangs. This looks like it hit a wall. If you look at the texture, there's still some filler left there, even after it had been blasted. And a little hole to weld up. Then all along this edge, you have more of the same, more badly repaired dents. Looks like somebody used a pair of pliers or something. Another dent up here. Looks like something fell over the edge. And then when you come to the back, this is when it gets really interesting. There's damage everywhere. This should have been a refrigerator a long time ago. That's just the one side. And then you come to the rust, which, as you can see, is pretty horrendous. More plier repairs over here. That kind of sucks. Obviously, when I bought the truck, all of this was covered in red paint and filler, so you couldn't really see all of that. But yeah, this is where I'm sat with at the moment. That's just the one fender. I'll show you the other side in a moment. Yeah, that's bad. And then on the driver's side, there's some dents. Weird inverted dents where the chrome trim spears were stuck over there. The rest seem okay. Then when you come down this way, once again, where the badge was, two sets of holes, and then more rust coming down this way. This fender is not as bad, but you can see even the mountings are missing. And then obviously I'll go to the other side, I'll turn them over in a moment and show you what the back looks like as well. So that concludes today's little episode. This is just a short interim thing of what's going on here. My, oh my, oh my. You just look at that, those lines. But, can be fixed? Can it? You're gonna give it a bloody good go. Lots of swearing. I might even do another swear dictionary. I'll see. These pieces, as I said, they are not as well made as the originals. Thick gauge steel though, as you see. But a simple way of explaining that, these fold lines, etc., if you consider the trucks were built between 60 and 66, and these Chinese copies are never very accurate, but basically as the tooling wears out over time, the lines become less and less crisp, less and less accurate. So yeah, it's okay. I'm going to head up to the house and have another coffee. I had one half an hour ago when I got in. I think it's time for another coffee. Matey boy over here had dinner, or very late lunch, when I got in. He wasn't quite tearing my hand or my leg off, but he wanted food, so I gave him food. He's lying here, just down the road from me. He's always close by the garage, watching, keeping an eye, making sure I don't hurt myself so I can feed him. Hey George, belly full and you're happy. It's obviously nice and warm here this time of the day. We'll close up with this. Hey Bubba Boo, my little therapy cat. Well, he's not really a therapy cat, but there you go. All right, mate, you go back to sleep. He's going to curl up there in the hedge, quite happy. Just look, there we go. Back to sleep. Useless cat, I said, and somebody got upset with me. But there you go. He's not helping with the grinding, he's not catching mice. At least he's leaving the birds alone, which is good. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for checking in. This is, always got to think about this. This is the driver's side, which is in pretty good nick. A couple of dents where the chrome trim was probably hit something. Those dents need to be pulled up slightly. There's one little dent there. As for the rest, the lines are really good. There's no damage. Badges going there. There's some holes that need welding up there, a couple of holes. Obviously I'm going to be doing a patch panel, roughly, I guess something like that. Roughly on the outside of that line, I will do cut out, replace the brace. There's a specific sequence in which this will happen. Cut that out, put a replacement panel in for those that don't know about them. They look like this. That's the brace that goes in behind, that way around. And there's a specific sequence into which that goes back in there. And then the replacement panel is that big, so it fits over right up to there, with the ruler there on the top of that line. In fact, something like that. So that's how big the replacement panel is, but that's all you use. I'll inspect and see if I can get away with reusing even more of this and maybe coming down at a slightly different angle, because the less of that I need to process and shape, the better, because actually that flares out. This needs to be folded back ultimately to create a lip, but that lip straightens out over there. So if you can get away with it, then using from there, which would be up there somewhere, cut it up at a slightly longer angle, up there, replace that piece. That should be good. So last couple of dents just to tap out. There's not much left for today. The nice thing is the chrome trim goes over the top here. So these, I'm just straightening them out ever so slightly. Not doing a lot of work on them. It's just so the clips will fit. There you go. This one I really want to do from the inside. So better. That Can get some more work. That is spot on. Very happy with those. This one, saying that, there's actually another dent over there. Needs to come out. I think that actually concludes today's episode. What's the time? 10 to 4. Can I be bothered? These are quite interesting. These spot welds have obviously been pulled at some point, so there's inward dents. I suspect that a filler will do the job there. But I think that concludes today's episode, because I can't be bothered starting to weld now, although it's a beautiful day. I'm going to go back to YouTube, watch Gibson 63, and watch, I think it's LMC Truck as well. They have some really good videos on repairing and cutting in both the panels and the braces at the back. And there is a sequence, it seems, in which you do it so that you can replace them just right. This Fender, in theory, shouldn't be that bad. Let's put that in. The other one is a real pain in the bum, because that's been smashed. That's been against a wall or a tree or somebody's fence post or something, I don't know, lamp post. And that'll take a lot more work, but I'm happy to do that. We'll get to it. Frustrating as some of it is, it will be good when I'm done. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to literally leave these right here. Turn some lights off, shut the shop. Put this back where it came from, get the charger out the wall. All the usual shut shop type things. Even my patch panel has a dent in. You probably wouldn't have noticed it. There you go. Quick video insert. Let's see. My every, or whatever they call themselves, courier. Yeah, she's quite good, thank you. There's always a knife somewhere. Nice little buck. Made in China?
Yeah, oh, it's 25 quid cheaply.
Yeah.
I've
guess what?
120 quid bench made that I don't like as much. It doesn't stay sharp as long.
So that should give us a beat. Oh, look at that. We've got gloves.
Yes, now you're going to need to find a 10-year-old whose hands fit them.
A 10-year-old who can legally work on the machines. Yeah. That's always funny though. You see that junk.
My bin. There we go.
Yeah.
And I got short fingers.
I got widey claws.
Wide palm, short fingers. Gloves are a problem.
But wanking's really good. Right. This is my 23-pound cordless grinder. In sync. In sync and out of sync. Oh yeah, I should have thought about that. Thank you. Even comes with a disc.
Ooh.
Free disc included. These are the important bits. The handle and the protection. We'll get rid of that.
First thing you do for any grinder is put a cordless, a clutch nut on it, so you don't need the spanner.
Don't have a clutch nut, I don't suspect.
They're about £5 each, so well worth having.
Yeah. I got distracted earlier on.
Yes, you didn't put them on charge.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
I'll be very interested in how that works. So I'll be incredibly tempted. It's nice and small too.
Yeah. Neil did say it really gets in everywhere.
So the Ryobi one I got is a pretty chunky thing.
Right. Don't know if there's going to be any charge in this thing. Come on. Oh, is that a loose fit or a tight fit? Or it's going to wear in fit? Don't like forcing stuff. I can live with that. Yeah. I'm not sure why I'm doing this now. We got to try it, don't we?
Oh, it's a new toy. How could you not?
Yeah. Right. Got to find something to cut. Piece of wood.
There's plenty of scrap metal lying around. Well, chop a bit off of there.
Maybe a pillar. Yeah. Alright, so for anyone interested, these come, and even the plates are the same as DeWalt, but at £23 delivered, with free gloves.
For your 10-year-old.
Yeah. The batteries are £19.95 for two. Each for two, if you take two. So bottom line is, whichever way you look at it, let's find Nick some metal to cut. We'll find you some metal to cut. You can cut a little strip of that. And we'll get a clamp. Put this safely out the way like that. Alright, this is just one of the shortest product tests you're ever going to see.
Does it work? Yes. Right. Back to the job.
Yeah.
No.
There you go. You want to give it a go, Nick?
Sorry?
Cut half an inch off there. Go. Obviously it's not hand protected, and I only tightened it by hand.
That's all it should need.
That's an inch, half an inch. Easy as hat.
Works for me. I like that.
I like it as well. I think that in hand is £43. That's probably what you're going to be paying. So it says in sync. If you pull this sticker off, it's actually where the DeWalt badge goes. It's got the clips where the DeWalt badge is going. So yeah, the batteries are clearly slightly differently stickered up, but I'm happy with that.
Yes. It's
So
very
that's-
tempting.
I just think for that kind of money, when you're using it occasionally, I mean I've got 4 grinders as it is, it's got to be worth having on the shelf.
You can have 2 of them as well, set up with a grinding disc and a flat wheel.
Sure, but I've got enough of those, one way or another. Anyway, at the moment, one's going to be enough.
As we said the other day, it also means you don't have wires everywhere.
Yeah. That off-cut being thrown away, I'm going to regret it in an hour's time.
Well, you always cut another piece. Doesn't want the guard putting on it, mind.
Yeah. Cool. End of that one. Right. To cut a long story short, this little tool, power file, uses little belts. They come in packs in fine, medium and pretty coarse. Is not a game changer, but it's really useful for getting the spot welds out. Because you can literally grind over the top without damaging the back. Because
Still see the spot weld on there.
Yeah, you can see the spot welds on there. This is just in order to keep this for the measurement. Drilled out these spot welds. They're all 3 of them are through, and this actually moves on its own already. But I'm not touching any of that. When the time comes, which will probably be in about 10 minutes or tomorrow morning, I will cut the donor, which Nick has hidden over there somewhere, over here. I'll cut that down to size to something like that, because that's where our panel will go up to. But this will actually, you offset the two so that you don't have a weak joint or a hinge over there. So this will get cut down there somewhere, just so to fit and make sure that it all comes together. Open these up slightly, slide that in, weld it together so that the brace is in one. Make sure that this distance, which I've already measured from the edge at 400mm, still keeps and retains the original 400mm once you add the patch panel to the back of that.
And we're only going to weld these flanges to this once the repair panel has been cut.
That's right.
So as we don't weld this to the old
Repair
skin.
panel. Yeah. So that is today's little shortcut trick. Really, really useful to get this off.
In
I
tricky
think,
places.
and with no support there, the drill would have been a nightmare. It would have bound up, or it would have bounced, or it would have just pushed out the way. Whereas this little guy uses no aggression whatsoever, no force. It just sands very gently down and cleans it up properly. So that's probably the little hack for today. Next trick will be all of this, cut it down to size, make it fit, start removing bits and pieces, and then do the patch panel. This is the good Fender. The other Fender obviously is pretty junked, but with lots of patience from Nick and a bit of guidance and lots of hammering, the section of it that's going to be used, which is the top half, is actually workable now. It's almost flat enough. There'll be a skimmer filler, really truly at most probably 1.5 millimeters, if not a millimeter, of filler after removing that dent and pushing bits and pieces around. And the bottom section clearly will then replace the rotten section on the other one. But yeah, this is a really nice win, because to me this This type of thing often worries me because you don't know how wrong it can go, and these things can go very wrong. So yeah, thanks for checking in. More to come. Right, so the next job for today quickly is, the reason those things rot is because that is the drain hole, which is, once you've welded it, hardly a hole. So historically people have started drilling a hole in there, 10-15 millimeters. So step drill, but first punch a little spot so we know where to go. Should do this one as well.
Yep. Put this punch away, don't we?
I was saying to Nick earlier on, it's so much easier when you're working like an octopus. Because if I was holding all of this shit trying to balance it,
you end up with a hole in the wrong place.
yeah. And it's not a butthole either. So that, and we have a drill, and we'll work on a bit of wood.
We could work on that bit of wood.
Yeah.
Let's see where we can go through. Alright.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to hold it as well.
Yep.
With my eye protection. No, I just want to get my eyes covered.
Yeah. Good thinking.
Because there's always a bit of swarf flying around. And I haven't done it for a while, but it hurts like hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit more. There you go. I think that is a good hole.
It will be with
It's
a
a
bit
hole-
of deburring afterwards.
It's a wholesome hole. You want to come up right a little bit more? I mean upright. There we go.
Yeah. Put my foot on the end of that now.
Hey! The wood, and that's because of the torque settings, I think.
Yeah, put it on drill. Because you are drilling.
Ah, yo, move! That's interesting. Why is it doing that?
Put it on drill.
Hammer drill, drill. No, it's because it's in between settings.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, move, man. There you go. I think that's lovely.
Well, again,
Now,
with some deburring.
yeah, deburring is sort
In
of
there.
obvious. Oh yeah, I like that. And now we use Mickey's magic. This is Mickey's magic for those who haven't met it yet. Such a useful little tool, this. Look at that. All of that junk. Excellent. So, those will get deburred in a moment. Oh, I messed that one up. Not that it matters.
Moment.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right, we're done with that one for now, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. And these holes will be rust proof at a later stage. That's it. Easy enough. So now we have. Is this the correct
Lock
one?
that off.
Yeah.
Yes, that would
First
be
thing I'm going to
sensible,
do
wouldn't it?
is check and double check. Give me a moment. Let me just take this junk off. Right. Measure once, cut twice. All right, so that's the correct one.
Look how much better that fits on without that in the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once that's out, like I say, so we're looking at.
Because that's where my metal
Here.
comes, and that's where the join's going to be. I'm wondering if I join above or below. because that's curve that you have to deal with as well, whereas the flat, it's sort of
yeah,
easier.
I put it across here. That gives you then more fiddling around room for the repair.
Right, let's do that.
It also means you can retain a reasonable chunk of this.
For
just slot it under.
Initially, yeah. Right, guess what I'm going to use?
Your whizzy new grinder.
My whizzy new grinder. Right, for those who didn't meet my new grinder, this is banana split. This is the new grinder. So, eBay special. It's a copy of the DeWalt 8 amp hour battery. The body, including some miniature gloves and a couple of discs, was £23 and something off Evil Bay. The batteries were £20 each if you buy 2, and that's as easy as it was. Right, what are you doing? You're drawing me that line again.
Yes, give you a nice straight line.
Straight stripe. Let's find a line machine. Yeah, there's another one somewhere. Cool.
This will obviously want to be trimmed afterwards. This is just so we can make sure everything fits.
Sure.
You see that?
Absolutely. Thank you. Job well done.
That's better already.
Yeah. So obviously once that's out the way, because this is actually skewing this over.
Again, that curve and that curve aren't quite the same. But yes, that's
Yeah, you have to machine them or
you know,
match and bang them a little
dress
bit.
it.
I noticed Gibson 63, if I remember, it was him or one of the other guys cut it and then just brought it back together. But again, it's a small detail. I like it.
So,
Job for tomorrow? What's the time? I can't be bothered sometimes starting big jobs. It's 20
Let's have a-
past.
even if you don't weld it in, I think you could get that trimmed and ready to go. It's not going to take long. It's nearly there. You've done the difficult bit.
Yeah. Sorry. Craig asking me about badges. I don't know. In fact, I know which one, but not. Cool.
So next job's peel that back a bit so we can cut that across wherever wherever you decide. I'd do it here below the hole, so like I say, you'd retain as much of that as possible for the next step of fitting, and you're not going to end up with the joins in the same place as well, which
Yeah, you
will
don't
help.
want that.
And where everything changes and comes to up to the straight, looks like a good place to be doing that.
Right, so that was easy enough. That works.
So, hang on. Might be more weld in there.
Yeah, they might. We'll try this. I think there's more weld in there. Ever so
You
slightly.
might not have got it right in the middle of
Yeah.
the weld.
There's too many tools on the table now. Makes me get nervous. Interferes with my judgment. Well, I don't have any judgment.
What judgment?
You know me well, Nick. Get some eye protection once again. It's that last little quick job that puts you in the hospital.
Where you get another lecture from the nurse of, you should know better.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, I do know better. That one
There you go.
as well.
There's rust. No.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's sprung. Oh, that'll be enough.
Much better.
You've got the same coming there as well.
Shall I get my, Mickey's magical magnet? It does.
Does make a difference, doesn't
Make
it?
a difference. Otherwise, I'll be sitting at 9 o'clock at night with a mobile phone trying to figure out where these burrs are in the underside of my feet. Hi. Right.
That's better. That's it. That's it. I'll do.
And just tap that one a little bit. I'm not too bothered about that side, to be honest, at this moment.
Well, don't forget, we're aiming to retain as much of the not keep as much of this line as we can.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
yeah. So again, there might still be a bit of this attached to the back edge of this weld. So you know,
Maybe weld it right through.
yeah, well, it's a spot weld, isn't it? So it ought to be. I mean, the bottom's loose. So I think the next step will be to have a nice straight line across wherever we're going to cut it, and see if we can actually get it out.
Oh yes, we have a grinder. And a ruler and a pencil. Now the question is, because you've been suggesting
I think
there,
that as low down as
goes
possible,
up.
and it makes more sense to do it across because there's less welding to do. It's quite high up here, so there's no point doing it there. And there's a nice transition there. It gives you an obvious place to do it. That's the same on. Hang on, it's the same on this. So that might line it up a bit easier as well.
Can't believe I let you tell me what to do.
Cut it wherever you bloody like. You know,
And
that all seems like a good reason to me.
If you don't help, then I can blame you for things going wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I did it badly because you weren't here.
I did it badly.
It wouldn't be like that, would it? However true it might be.
Nick told me how to do it, and we blame him. Right. Is that straight enough? I think so.
Well, you know.
I don't like the fact that it's going up, but it doesn't matter because one can always bang it
Well,
and shape it down.
you don't want to be welding across the hole.
No, I was originally going to go up there.
And the other reason
But-
for doing it here is the dust guard doesn't really touch it much here, whereas it does there.
Yeah. Cool. So now, maybe I should bang that flat again.
No, just cut straight through with the grinder. because you do need to go through that part and this and know that it's going to come off.
It'll come off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you don't want to have to be hacking away and making a horrible looking hole
Sure.
to deal with later.
Nothing like a cheap grinder. Right. Easy as hat. H-A-T. With the rust.
Yeah.
And now it's 4:30. I bet you it's beer o'clock somewhere. In South Africa, that is. Because they're ahead of us. Nick, I think this is enough for today. For no reason. I mean, sometimes it's nice just keeping going when you're on the pace, but at the same time, can I be bothered?
So if it were me, I'd have that, even if I didn't weld it in, I'd have it ready to go. Because it's, you know, quarter of an hour's work.
Okay.
5 minutes if you're quick.
Yeah, I'm not quick. I do everything very deliberately and
That's not what I've
slowly.
heard.
And stupidly. Yeah, that's a different story altogether. So now cutting these shorter so that it can fit in there. So that's the off-cut bit. This is the first cut. There's more cuts to come. That'll be the final grinder cut, and then we'll start sanding.
Yeah, I
That's
think
too
so.
much. It's alright. Just in my book, it's too much. I'd rather swear a bit more and grind a bit more.
I think you're absolutely right.
I'm going to cover your pencil in yellow tape, just to make you feel more wanted. Okay, you want to check that, see whether that's agreeable-ish.
So there's the cut.
Yep.
So that's good. And I can't see the pencil mark. So that's good.
Yeah, I think that's spot on.
Well, we might be close enough. That actually got, yeah, there we go. How much better is that getting?
What's that word? Bingo. And obviously that one's wider because that's how it was made. There's much more metal on this one than on that one, so that's
Well,
I'm not even going to touch that. I'm not interfering with that.
there we go.
You want one of these just to tap it into place ever so slightly.
You know, that's it, really.
Jobbed.
20 minutes.
25% deviance. Cool. Let's take one more
It's
picture
worse
of
than
that.
that. It's 30% deviance, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, you've got to. It depends which way around you work it. I always forget that. Cool. Right. What do we do? Shut shop.
I don't think
Friday
it's worth
afternoon. Yeah, I'm not.
firing the welder up just to do that.
Yeah. Do it all in one. This is good news, man. It's still on 610.
Yeah, well, it's just
I mean, that you just
jiggling around.
tap straight.
You know,
that's
again,
moving.
there's some fiddling around you can do once you've
Because
actually
it's
got
rust.
the other panel.
Yeah, because the old piece is rusted to hell, that's why. Because, I mean, there now it's way too short. But
Yeah,
that's not a
but
problem.
there's well, again, we can tweak that down a little
Yeah.
bit.
Exactly.
What you don't want is for it to be, 15 mil off of where it is. Oh,
Fingers. And that's it. Obviously, loads of work left to do, especially the other side, which looks like that, but at least it's got a solid place to go into now. So yeah, that's enough for today.